What do ignored Trump, the BBC worker who forgot to turn off the adult film, and the girl who lost her underwear during an overly energetic song performance have in common? The fact that they all got into embarrassing situations on live TV. This is Infinity, and today I'll show you these and other embarrassing moments on live TV which you definitely should see. Let's go. It's not known what exactly is going on in this footage, but we see a guy standing by a giant egg. From the caption below in Spanish, we can understand that it's an Easter egg weighing 12 kilograms. The guy picks it up, and I think everybody already knows what happens next, right? Of course, he drops the egg on the floor, and all this beauty shatters to pieces. This is a very embarrassing fiasco that was seen by millions of people. I feel bad for the person who made the egg because many hours of work went to waste. It's cool when a performer gives their best on stage, but sometimes an overactive performance can be embarrassing. This girl sang and danced very energetically and diligently on the air. She did it so energetically that at one point her underwear literally fell off. Frankly, I have no idea what you have to do to make this happen, and the girl herself didn't understand how it happened. Anyway, she got one more embarrassing moment in her life. During a live broadcast of a TV show, the host miscalculated the length of her nails, or maybe she forgot how long they were. When she was waving her hand, she accidentally caught her nails on her dress and lifted it up. At that moment, the audience could appreciate both the girl's good figure and her unflappable temperament. She behaved like a true professional and continued to confidently stay in the frame, pretending that nothing happened. A few years ago, BBC anchor Ben Brown got into an awkward situation during a live broadcast. Brown was talking to political journalist Norman Smith on the streets of the English city of Bradford. During the interview, a woman arose next to him who, looking into the camera, uttered the phrase, "absolutely fantastic," and pointed her thumb. The anchor decided to simply remove her from the frame. Brown continued to look at the interlocutor and blindly pushed the girl, inadvertently touching her breasts. It was awkward and quite hot at the same time. The girl, on the other hand, was extremely surprised by what was happening and punched Brown in the shoulder in protest. Fair enough, but still, she shouldn't have gotten into the frame. Anyway, the anchor later apologized for the incident and the conflict was over.
We're sorry. We're sorry.
A few years ago, the BBC was once again the center of a scandal. During an evening newscast, the network showed erotic scenes in the background. Maybe they put it on purpose to boost ratings or something like that. Nope, it's simpler than that. It turns out one of the network's employees simply forgot to log off. Now, when you think you screwed up somewhere, think of this incredibly embarrassing situation the poor guy found himself in. You can fail not only when you're on stage or in the studio, but even on the radio. And no, it's not about some ridiculous stuttering or a microphone that suddenly stopped working. This girl proved that you can embarrass yourself on the spot by falling out of the chair when the camera above recording everything live. It was embarrassing, but the girl got out of the scrape like a true professional. She got up and finished the sentence she had started. And what would you do if you were in this girl's shoes? Would you stand up and continue hosting the show, or would you leave as quickly as possible?
Screw you guys, I'm going home.
Write in the comments what would you do? And keep watching because there are many more cringeworthy moments on live TV ahead. Soon you'll see Trump being ignored, the failed drone demonstration, the most unlucky reporter, and other embarrassing moments on live TV that are worth seeing. If a journalist is reporting from a sporting event, he or she must try her hand at one sport or another. I think that's an invariable rule of journalism. Josie Gibson was reporting from the seashore, where she came to talk about kayaking. Of course, the journalist was asked to stand on the boat and raise the paddle. Everything was going great, but after a few seconds, Josie lost her balance and fell into the water. Well, at least it was funny. Josie's very unlucky on live shows. Another embarrassment happened to her last year. Gibson was filming a report on a farm where there were several pigs. She tried to brush the animals with a special brush, saying it was an activity that helped her relieve stress. At these words, one of the pigs bit her hand. Josie cried out in surprise, but continued brushing the pigs. After a while, she was bitten again, which made the presenters of the program laugh. This girl obviously has a problem with live TV. Some journalists are forced to stand on a boat and raise a paddle, while others are shoved into an airplane with a pilot doing aerobatics. This man was unlucky. He was forced to sit in such an airplane in order to make a report. From the first shots, you can see that the anchor is not very comfortable. He's shaking, but he carries on to report. But after a few seconds, the pilot warmed up and started doing more epic stunts. The overload and drastic change of altitude knocked the anchor out during live TV. Well, there was nothing embarrassing about that. It was pretty awkward. I think it would have been better if he had reported from the airfield, for example, from a runway. By the way, if you're worried about the journalist, he's fine. He came to his senses when the pilot landed the plane. Guys, have you all been in a situation where you've tried to shake someone's hand but you've been ignored? I'm sure it's happened to all of you. The situation is not the most pleasant. Interestingly enough, it can happen even to the president. In 2017, then President of the USA, Donald Trump, found himself in this awkward situation. Before the G20 summit, Polish First Lady Agata Kornhauser-Duda seemed to intentionally ignore the American's outstretched hand and walked past to greet his wife, Melania Trump. Although later Agata shook Donald's hand as well, this didn't make the situation any less awkward. I wonder how much Trump was cursing the Polish woman at that moment. In this footage, we see another reporter who's being mocked by their colleagues. This time the reporter had to fly over the water in a jetpack. Actually, it's not so bad. I think many would like to fly the same way. In any case, once in the frame, the reporter decided to wave at the camera. That's okay, but then the man makes a stupid mistake. He lets go of his hands and points his thumbs up. Of course, he immediately falls down, plummeting straight into the sea. No wonder, because the jetpack works just due to the handle, which you always have to hold on to. By the way, remember that it's quite embarrassing when something goes wrong at various tests or demonstrations of any new devices and gadgets. It's especially embarrassing when manufacturers have claimed a device or gadget as something revolutionary and new. Not so long ago, the Portuguese Navy failed. The military announced that they'd managed to develop a new unmanned vehicle which perfectly copes with both maritime tasks and missions on the land. Soon after the announcement, they decided to test the drone live so that people could see for themselves. Unfortunately for the Portuguese military, viewers were only convinced that the drone was no better than a paper airplane, as it fell into the water almost immediately after the launch. The funny thing is that the drone was not launched from a computer or remote controlled, but had a run. This girl was reporting from a children's entertainment center full of rides and machines. To delve the audience into the atmosphere, she decided to try out one of the small rides where you have to jump over moving ledges. Unfortunately, the shape and age are no longer the same. The girl failed. I think when the reporter was a child, she was clearly able to handle such a ride. But it's worth noting that despite her fall, she continued reporting and brought it to the end. A couple of years ago, popular streamer Ninja was one of the guest stars at the New Year's Eve celebration on New York City's Times Square, where he tried to entertain the giant crowd. The guy thought it'd be really cool to do a Fortnite dance with such a crowd. Ninja announced that now they'll all do the floss dance together. As the music began to play, Ninja and the host began to dance, but the New Yorkers and tourists who came to celebrate the new year didn't appreciate their enthusiasm too much. Ninja decided to cheer them up and climbed closer to the crowd, but got almost no reaction in response. It's definitely not what you want for the new year. In February 2020, TV host Justin Hinton was reporting on a snowfall in North Carolina that rarely occurs in the area. He was reporting live on Facebook. Before going live, Justin accidentally tapped the mystery mask filter, and the filter began to work when Hinton stood on the other side of the screen. Whether Hinton had a cameraman is not specified, but probably not, because the show lasted quite a while. The journalist only found out about the fail when he got out of the frame. By that time, there were a lot of comments under the video. That's all, guys. Which of these moments did you find the most awkward and cringeworthy? Let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching, and see you later.